Well, hello and welcome to Teal House Farm. Today we are getting ready to let our goat and sheep out on pasture. So if you've been around, you've known that we got some meat goats and then I was an idiot and didn't plug in the fence and they got away and we got them back, thankfully. And then we have had them basically blockaded into the shed 5 days now, I think, and just to make sure that they recognize that this is home. And we've been giving them sweet feed too, just trying to make it like a place they want to be. And now we're going to go ahead and give them another chance out in pasture. I will remember to plug in the fence this time, and hopefully, we'll get them out. The sheep we have already been trained. The people we got the sheep from have the exact kind of fencing we do, which is the turbo wire. We actually have more wires. There's 5 high there than they did. And they were keeping them in with 3, so I think 5 should be pretty simple. But the goats were not. The goats were fully penned in where we bought them. They were just completely walled in. So they didn't have any fencing that they needed to have to be trained to. And so I'm doing it today, so home all evening. So it's about 3-4 hours until dark. So we'll give them a couple hours out in pasture, make sure they go back in the barn at night. And then tomorrow I am home, and so is Sam, all day. We'll just keep a real close eye on them. We want to make sure we see them, test that fence and that they're staying. And then this should work pretty well. The next day after that, I'm going to be gone just a couple hours. So we're kind of like wading into trusting them with the fence that they've been trained to the fence. Okay, first thing we need to do is to get the fence plugged in, make sure it's still reading nice and hot, which I hope it should be. I haven't done anything to it. You never know. Oh wait, so reading at 10.5. That's great. That's a nice, oh look, there's a wasp's nest in there. Well, that's not really that great. Let's see if we can do something about that. I'll let Sam deal with that. There's a wasp nest built underneath the bucket that's protecting the fence charger, and I don't want to mess with that. Okay, need our drill. Alright, hello friends. How would you like to go outside in the sunshine? You ready? Okay, this is the next morning, getting ready to do our chores. Just your friendly reminder that your last frost date is significant. So it's in like 3 days. A lot of people I know, last week was really warm here and they started planting things in their garden. It was not time. Mother Nature is going to use every one of those days and probably a couple days after. So just sit and wait. It'll be okay. Thankfully, the only thing we have in our garden, because I paid attention very seriously to the last frost date, are things that are frost hardy, like our potatoes, which will be fine. So let's go see how our sheep are doing. They have already headed out onto pasture this morning. They see me though, they know grain's coming. We'll still give them a little bit of sweet feed. Again, we're just really trying to make sure they establish that this is a great place to live and they would never want to try to run away. sheep are standing right outside the door. They don't want to come in while I'm in there. Still nervous about me, so we're just going to go do our other chores, and I'm sure they'll come in and eat some grain. I went ahead and opened up the second paddock for them. So they have this is right behind the barn, which still has plenty of tall grass in it, but I went ahead and opened this up for them, which goes all the way to the front by the house. Give them a lot more grazing, and we also need to keep this knocked down so we don't get snakes living up real close to next to like the kids' play set. So they should have plenty of room to stretch their legs today. We're home all day today, so we're just going to keep a real close eye on them, but they seem to be respecting the fence, so we'll just keep an eye on them. Okay, this is 4 days later, so we were gone. We've been home pretty much every day since we moved them, out of the barn, but today we were gone most of the day, and let's see if everybody's still there. It sounds like they are. I see 2 goats and 2 sheep. And the fence is reading nice and high. All right, you never call a fence problem solved. At some point, somebody's going to try to sneak out of there. But I think overall, we got them trained to the fence, and they're pretty much respecting it. They're eating lots of grass. They look nice and healthy and happy. So I think we made the right choice letting them out of the barn and just trusting them a little bit on the pasture after somebody's escapades last week. Overall, though, it's going well. And they're going to do some great lawn mowing for us back there. I run into just a minor problem. They don't have any interest in going through the gate into the new paddock. So they're staying in the back. And right now there's plenty of grass back there for them. But usually, at least our old goats and sheep that we had last year, when it was daytime and it was time to get out of the barn, the first thing they did is they started as far away as from the barn as they could get. Then they worked their way back towards the barn. But these guys have no interest in even coming close to the opening to the gate. I don't know if they think it's a trick, or if maybe they'll follow me. Maybe they'll hear me and come try it. But we'd like them to come work down here and keep this mowed for us. And then eventually we'll move them out. We have 2 paddocks out in the big field as well, and they'll help keep that down. We still do hope to add 1 more buck. We want a buck for the goats and a cow, a baby calf, probably a bottle calf, but we're going to wait on those. Our plan is to go to auction this summer when they still got their kind of leftovers from breeding season that they didn't sell, and they're going to sell them at auction, and to be able just to get a really good price. We're not looking to start like a breeding program here yet. We're still just raising meat for us and learning how to be really good at it. Maybe in the future we'll breed and sell, but I want to make sure before we sell anything that we know that we have a very good quality product, and we've worked really hard to learn. So this is our 2nd year raising the goats and the sheep, specifically for meat. We've done dairy goats before for 5 years. So we still have some things to learn. Learned a lot last year, and I'm sure I'll learn a lot this year. So hopefully we get these guys to come through the chute to the 2nd paddock. If not, I'm just going to have to go out there and push them through in the next couple days to make sure they know that they can walk through this little hallway I created them. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll catch you all next time.